Welcome back to another video from Tantrum House Studio 3. In this video, we're going to talk all about our favorite games from February 2023. So last month we talked about our favorite games from January. This month we're going to talk about our favorite games from February 2023, and we're going to share our favorite game that we all played at TantrumCon. The rules are kind of that it has to be a published game, but some of us like to break those rules, so pay attention. Most of them will be published. My favorite game from February 2023 that I got to play was Starship Captains. I got invited over to the Delp's house to play this. Thought it was a completely different game that I was going to play, so I was pleasantly surprised. It is a lot of fun. You got your different ensigns of different colors, and they can do different actions that allow you to either move or attack pirates or to research technology and basically build up your starship, gain a bunch of points, and beat your foes.
And repair your ship.
Repair your ship, that's right. And the repair is really nice because anybody can repair your ship. It's a group effort. So that was my favorite.
I like it. I actually want to play this, so one of these days.
We'll invite you over.
Okay.
Maybe, Joe.
Maybe.
One of the favorite games that I was able to play in February is actually, I don't have it. I don't own it. It's a game called Weather Machine from Eagle Griffin Games. I really enjoyed this game for a few reasons. I had been eyeing it for a few months, and so of course that builds a little bit of anticipation when you finally get to play it. When we finally did play it, it took us a rather long time to get it all the way through with 3 brand new players learning the game. And then, so there's a teach, there's obviously the game. It's a little bit of a longer game, so it took us some time.
It's a Lacerda game.
It took us some time.
It's on that complexity.
4 hours?
Yeah, maybe 4.
Okay.
Maybe 4.
Wow.
Anyway, I really enjoyed it. In the game, you are trying to build your own weather machine to stop the professor's weather machine from making bad weather. And it's very easy to understand. Lots of really good detailed iconography. So if you can figure out the iconography, then it'll really help you in the game. His weather machine starts spitting out all this bad weather, and you need a lot of resources and gear parts to build your own weather machine to fix it. I really enjoyed it. It also helped that I won the game. So I had anticipation that I won. So it's got to be my favorite game of February.
Cool.
So my favorite game of February, I got to play a game actually taught to me by Jonah, and I played with Kevin and Melissa called Tapestry.
Nice.
It was explained to me as it had every game mechanic ever in it.
I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Which was definitely very intriguing, but there are multiple tracks that you should work on, plus you need to keep track of your cards, plus you have a special player power, plus you've got like cubes that you're building up and resources, and I was told just to concentrate on 2 tracks and don't worry about anything else and do the opposite ones, and then all the other players didn't follow that advice. So I thought I was doing things wrong, but I was winning up until the final point count. And then Melissa decided to.
Told you.
They were supposed to tell me that I won by texting me. No one did. I found out the next week I ended up with 3rd place.
Yep.
So that was okay. But no, Tapestry was a lot of fun, but it's a very heavy game.
And there's a new expansion. That's why we were playing
Yes.
it.
Yep. Which follows into what Ryan said. It's not actually out yet. We were playing with the brand new expansion called Fantasies and Futures, but the base game Tapestry is out with 2 expansions.
And you can pre-order it.
And you can pre-order it. That's a Stonemaier game if you're interested in playing that one.
Yeah, so I got to play Campy Creatures. This is a game that I learned in preparation for TantrumCon.
Nice.
Because we played this as one of our tournameals, and I wanted to figure out what the game was about before I started planning.
It's a good idea.
And it's got a lot of fun parts to it. It's got the cards where everybody's got the same cards, and we all have the options to lay down these cards at the same time to try to capture humans. And depending on the card interactions and the powers that get played, you may or may not get your choice of those humans that you're trying to capture. But it's fun, and I like the old like campy creature movies, like the horror movies from the 1950s and stuff. So this was a lot of fun. This is by Keymaster, and this is their reprint of it. I don't know when it was reprinted, but the edition we have is an older version, but this is their nice new reprint of it. So if it was Campy Creatures.
So my favorite from February is Atiwa. I've heard it many. I actually
She spent a long
looked
time this
at
morning.
pronunciations, and all three of them were different. So
Oh my.
There we go.
this is a region in Ghana, and the theme is about farming. It's Rosenberg, but with fruit bats and how they help the ecology of the area. And I enjoyed that. I mean, it's not as heavy as something like Agricola or Hallertau. So I would put this as a little bit more welcoming than some of his other games. It's not as punishing.
One of the most welcome Uwe Rosenberg worker placement games.
Yes. But really interesting player board where you're tracking your resources, and as you take your resources out, you're going to get more income, but then you may have to put them back on your board, and then you're getting less income, so you have to manage that. It's worker placement, but there are tons of worker placement spots, so you don't feel like, oh, there's nowhere for me to go. So Atiwa, really interesting theme, and I enjoyed the gameplay.
It's a little easier to feed your family in that game as well.
Yes.
Mine is Earth. This is from Inside Up Games. This was my favorite game I played in February. This is a tableau building, engine building game where are you building your own Earth, or what's the...
I don't know the theme, but you definitely have your grid that you're building.
You're building your own Earth. There you go. With all the different sort of ecological systems and So I love in this game the engine building part of this game as you are activating the different colors, red, yellow, green, or blue, which have different meanings, and you're activating those cards on your board. The other players are also activating those. If you're the active player, you get a little special benefit, extra power on that, which I enjoy picking the right colors. So
simultaneous play, kind of like Puerto Rico or Terraforming Mars, Ares Expedition, Race for the Galaxy, where everyone's doing something on each turn.
And the artwork, beautiful. The photography in this game on the cards, it's just so fun to look at all those. So that was my favorite game of February. My favorite, we're going to go snake draft, so we're going backwards. My favorite game from Tantrum Con. So there's a lot of fun things at Tantrum Con. Tournament meals, all the events and things like that.
There were tons of fun things.
Tons of fun things. Yeah. My favorite thing was playing a game of Rising Sun with Keymaster. That was our tradition, and got to play a full complement 6-player game of that. Just had an enjoyable time. I didn't win. Played a different faction that I've never played before, the Koi faction. Did okay with it. They really want to do in the game. If you're not familiar with Rising Sun, it is sort of feudal Japan, and you are trying to control different areas. You have your own special player power that can do really cool things. Everyone else has their own player powers. Mine wasn't really wanting to do things with money, and my money became Ronin and things like that. So I was truly trying to get an income generator. Didn't really work as well as I wanted, but really had an enjoyable time with Rising Sun. So an older game, but got to play it.
So I enjoy lots of things about Tantrum Con. I got to play some of my favorites, Woodcraft and Lacrimosa and Teletum. But I did play a new to me game.
Ooh.
It was one that was actually in our Hot Games area. And this is Dice Manor from Arcane Wonders. And it reminds me a little bit of Las Vegas. You're rolling dice and you're creating sets with them. And you have to take one set and use it to bid on something. A lot of the things you're bidding on are tiles to put into your manor, or advertising, which is going to help you unlock more dice. So it has that phase where you're putting your dice out, and if I put 3 5s somewhere and someone else later puts 4 5s, they're going to outbid me for that slot. Then once you've put all the dice out, you take your things back and you're building a manor that eventually you want to take tours through. So you're trying to get certain colors of tiles, certain numbers. If you have a lot of the same number, it's going to be easier to put your dice out through them. So really interesting. It's about a 40-minute game, so kind of on the casual side, but definitely a little bit more going on than Las Vegas. So I enjoyed that. Dice Manor.
All right. My game that I got to try out at Tantrum Con was Blueprints, the Castles of King Ludwig Blueprints. It is still on Kickstarter. Well, it was when I got to try it.
Cool.
So that's another not quite published game, but
Cheater!
I know. But it was a lot of fun. It was very different than a lot of the mechanics part of it is very different than the Castles of Maclean Ludwig. So we were kind of discussing some of those differences earlier today. But it's got some neat putting together the puzzle almost, trying to get things to fit, and stacking your rewards and those types of things that are still similar to the Castles of Maclean Ludwig, and I'm looking forward to trying that one again.
Absolutely. So my favorite Tantrum Con game was in our Play to Win area. It was called Trophies. It came in a little metal box. I happened to walk up to some friends who are playing it, watch them for maybe a minute, could jump right in and play with them. You have a stack of 25 cards that have a letter on them, and whoever's the judge will take one from the back, put it to the front so everyone else gets to see what that letter is. And then facing the judge on the card is about 5 or 6 different questions that they can ask. And whoever guesses something that fits that question starting with the letter they see gets that card. And after 25 cards, whoever has the most cards wins. And it includes a little tiny metal trophy that you can hold up and be... so I jumped in, got to play it. But here's the question. I want to see if anyone else could come up with something. The question was, name a famous landmark, and the letter was H.
Hoover Dam.
Hoover Dam. Wait, there you go. That was it. We got so stuck on that one because all I could think of was Hawaii, and I'm like, that Honolulu, that doesn't count. Hawaiian, volcanoes is not a famous landmark. I'm not playing with you. That's definitely but it was really fun. It's something that you could put in your purse. It would be a great travel game that you could play anywhere. And if you like word games and trying to come up with them, I highly recommend checking out Trophies.
I like it. One of the things that we love to do at Tantrum Con is actually this thing called Tournameals, where we play a game and eat lunch, dinner, breakfast, desserts while we do that. So we've got a bunch of people who signed up to play the game Boop with us. So this is actually, oh man, you'll have to help me. What company is this?
This is Smirk and Laughter, Smirk and Dagger.
Smirk and Laughter, Smirk and Dagger. And we had Boop set up for one of our Tournameals. And so when this game was introduced to me maybe 2 months ago or so, it was like, oh, it'll take you 5-10 minutes to play. It's real easy. It's real kind of cute. Okay. And then I played it, and 25 minutes later, I'm like, this is a brain burner. I'm trying to win. I'm trying it, and it's so simple. You're just putting cats or kittens onto a kind of a quilt, and maybe it's 10 by 10. And anytime that you're placing them next to any other cats or kittens, they're just gonna boop. They're gonna spread. They're gonna move. And so one of the things that was really cool, it took a lot of work from a lot of people on our team, but we had life-size boop. So we made a big quilt, and there was squares all over it, and we gave everyone kitten hats or headbands, yep. And we played life-size boop, and it was awesome. And so that was one of my favorite plays at Tantrum.
And this is a 2-player game, right? Head to head.
It is a 2-player game. Yep.
But it is so enjoyable watching those 2 people play, even if you're not playing.
Yeah.
So I did get to enjoy a lot of games at TantrumCon. Campy Creatures was one of the ones I was thinking about talking about, but I had to be honest, the game I played the most was Blazon. And I've talked about this in our Saturday morning show if you've watched that. So I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail, but basically a blazon is the description of somebody's heraldry, their coat of arms in medieval Europe. And so you are assembling the different devices and colors together to make somebody's shield, their coat of arms. And based on the different combinations you put together, you get certain amounts of points, and you're just racing to get the most points before the game ends. And I really enjoyed it. So that was my favorite that I got to play at TantrumCon. I think I played it 4 times. Ooh, and then I just randomly instructed another group that I was passing by. Like, oh, you're playing Blazon? Let me tell you how to play.
Yeah, I think, was it on our Play to Win table?
Yeah.
It was on our Play to Win.
So lots of people were playing it, and 25th Century Games was one of our vendors as well. So
Yeah.
a lot of interest in Blazon.
A lot of people picked it up. Charlie Johnson, Hannah's husband, I managed to force him to play.
Oh, he had a
Or
great time.
He was interested in it, and I think he really enjoyed it.
Oh, he did.
So.
He really did.
What did you play either at TantrumCon or this past February? Let us know in the comments, and be sure to tune in next month when we share our favorite games from March.